CBC show.
Yep, CBC Here and Now. Good show. I wasn't expecting you to continue your sentence as we went live. Welcome to Bloodwine, where we talk about musicals just before we go live.
Which is weird that we went live on the CBC Here and Now.
But you get to guess how we got there.
It's a mystery. Speaking of mysteries, welcome back. So when last we met, you guys had just narrowly escaped a mysterious fate, to be sure, at the hands of a few people that you almost hired just outside of Hammerhold. You've all kicked off on the road, and it's going to take them enough time to get their horses and all that stuff that you get at least a little bit of headway out of town. You have time to plan which way you're going. What do you do?
Oh, wait, we had... Which way were... We had a plan.
We had a plan.
Hammerhold north to... Can't remember, then looping
somewhere to somewhere else.
Somewhere, then we were looping back down, and then
yeah.
You guys were hunting down a life drinker in Last Hearth, I believe.
Last Hearth, there it is.
Yeah, okay, that's where we're going.
So which exit did we go? Like, which road exit are we on?
Why don't we pull up the map?
So there's Hammerhold.
You'd be heading... You have a chance to go around the city outskirts real quick before it's too late if you wanted to take the isolated northern route. But otherwise you'd be going sort of south. More west than anything else. Southwest.
I think that's probably fine.
Yeah. I mean, we can take the... Do we have to take the isolated northern route to head to Last Hearth, or do we have to take the south route to head...
You would be able to take both roads. There's the main road that goes all the way to Last Hearth, which would be the sort of southwest to westerly.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can take the Lupus Nomad trails in the north.
Going those trails in the north would triple our time.
But it'll also be harder to track, wouldn't it?
I would think so.
Or would it be easier to track because few people travel down them?
No, I think that it'd be hard, less likely to be spotted, perhaps, more than tracking.
You guys are getting pretty close to the turnoff.
My vote is to hoof it through the lesser traveled roads.
I don't think we should. I think we should go down west.
Why is Reggie always the deciding vote? Reggie doesn't like being the deciding vote.
What do you think, Reggie?
Reggie just stares into space for a little... No. I vote road less traveled.
Okay, we'll go north then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In that case, who's at the head of the group? At this point, it's the the late afternoon.
Trunkus.
All right. You guys have started heading down the main road away from Hammerhold. There's a lot of people who are now leaving the coronation, so even though there's sometimes that you get slowed up a little, for the most part, you're able to get past a couple people and get some distance between you and your pursuers.
Okay.
Clickety clackety, gathering dice. You guys make some reasonably solid progress. You make it halfway to the next hamlet.
So this way, like that? Is that a hamlet there?
Oh, sorry, I had my roads mistaken. That is where you end up, though.
Okay.
Conveniently.
Conveniently.
Who is keeping an eye out at what part of the caravan? You guys are a pretty big group.
I'll probably up near the front.
Isn't it still late afternoon?
Even if it is.
I'm with my partner.
It is still late afternoon. like who's there anyways.
Well, normally who's on at this time? Trunk is at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Rollins is at the back, and then Elmira and Steelfist are on the sides.
All right. You get reports from Rollins that he hasn't seen them in a little while.
Okay.
It wears on towards the dinner hour. What are you guys going to do?
Keep on moving.
I think keep moving, yeah.
We're not in a position to stop anytime soon.
To be relaxing.
All right, then who's at the head of the group?
Corvo.
All right, who's at the back?
Johnstone.
Okay. You guys make some real solid progress out here. Johnstone's got good eyes, and he hasn't seen hide or hair of them, but based on the progress you've been making, he says that it's probably good to keep traveling anyways. You guys make it just to the edge of the next village. So not quite there, but if there's if it snaps, like one snap away.
To the next village like that?
Yeah. Perfect.
I disabled the snap. So,
Oh.
Hey, even better then.
yeah, so it won't snap to random things.
All right. Who's at the head of the group next?
I am.
All right. Keeping in mind we're doing it the new way with the cards, so you'll have one in your hand before you draw a card.
One in my...
You'll have the pick from two.
Okay. Oh, so it's the same?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you know how in Love Letter, like, you have a card, and then when your turn comes up, you pick one, and you play one immediately? That kind of thing.
Ooh.
It's just so you weren't, like, drawing a card and then being like, oh, I guess I picked this one because I have no other cards. It's like, no, we get cards.
Okay. Hand card.
7 of
Pick a
hearts or 3 or 6 of clubs.
I will do the 7 of hearts.
All right. You guys have worn on into evening as you're making still more progress here on the road. By now, you've gone past the village. You might have been able to stop in if you wanted to, but presumably you guys are kicking off right away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. In that case, you make it roughly to the grid line.
I just realized looking at my supplies, I don't have food listed. I had it listed probably roughly around 11, which is where I like to keep it. But I must have erased it at some point and not filled it in.
Oh no.
Let's just say you have 11.
Okay.
11. Sounds about right.
Uh-oh. I also have 11.
But I buy it because I eat 2 a day. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I buy it to keep roughly even with my supplies.
Nonetheless, Vesta, even though you're not a hunter, as you go down from the mountains into this sort of valley here that's been iced over, you can see a lot of reasonably open terrain, and there's some animals coming and going. If you guys do get hungry, you might be able to hunt out here, even though it's cold and frigid the rest of the way.
Okay.
Speaking of which, what are you wearing?
Uh-oh.
Reggie is wearing breeches, shirt, half cape, and a hat.
Okay.
And it's definitely a hat that would protect him from things like snow falling on him because it has a very large brim.
It does have a very large and
Okay.
feather.
I
And
do
a big
have
feather.
I do have breeches, shirt, dress.
Everyone knows
Okay.
that down
And you
jacket
had
would
your
be
dress
warm.
from where you grew up, so presumably that's warm weather.
Yeah.
Same with Henny. You're from around here. You know how to
Yeah.
dress further up.
I
All right.
still have the green cloak from that little tiny mountain village.
All right. Reggie, however, you need warmer clothes. Do you have the cold-blooded drawback? The one
No.
that gives you double damage from
No.
environment. Okay. Did I take that out?
I don't think it's applied to Turtugans. Yeah, I think it was taken out because I
All
got
right.
slow and hulking.
Okay, yeah, I think I took it out then.
Yeah.
In any case, you take 11 damage from the cold throughout the day.
Fuck.
Oof.
Well, we stop in the next village and
Well, we could.
get you a coat.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, we have people that make outfits
Oh, that's
for
true.
a living.
This is also true.
Yeah, just get a coat from them.
I can't remember his name right now.
Edelwald.
Edelwald, that's
Edelwald.
it.
Excuse me.
Edelwald, I'll probably ask him if he has anything on hand that is warm.
As it happens, you enter first. Steelfist is with you there too. He seems pretty chilly as well.
That makes sense, seeing as his jacket is rather undersized.
Edelwald says he's going to have to look through his stuff once you guys stop.
Okay.
Speaking of which, it is now.
Steelfist and I'll just huddle together in our like wagon, just chilly.
Cuddling.
Grab the bed. Well.
Actually, because both of you are cold-blooded, that wouldn't even work.
It wouldn't even work.
Oh no.
You would just be competing.
Okay.
Right, what was I going to say?
Excuse me.
We're moving on with the day, I
Moving
think.
on with the day.
Which means it's the early night.
Should we stop to sleep?
Well, they were right behind us. We will have to stop eventually. We can't keep moving on indefinitely, but
We might as well stop during the night when they can't. It's harder to find us.
Yeah, and then wake up early.
sure.
All right, so you guys are stopping?
I do want to raise a counterpoint to that plan. If they go through the night, they will probably catch up to us. So we will, at the very least, have to hide ourselves well.
But at the very least, we'll also be well rested. And we won't be.
Well,
I'll set up some wards.
yes,
Okay.
words would be really good.
I'll do the first watch, and as I'm doing the first watch, I'll do wards.
All right, Blue will work with you. Is anybody else doing stuff in camp?
I'm going to try and hide our tracks from the road.
All right.
I am going to be practicing my secret stuffs by the campfire.
Okay.
Very close to the campfire, like I'm on top of the campfire.
Okay, so I guess I have a general question. If I had a ward, so I've been writing these down. If I had previously had a ward of 18, is that still on the group, or did they expire after some time?
Yours would have expired by now.
Okay.
They don't innately expire after some time. Usually it's like wear and tear. Upon
Yeah.
them.
Well, I would assume that since Vesta had Henny eat bread, the bread is somewhere on the ground with a ward that possibly expired.
That poop is warded.
Yeah,
Well,
you can't find that poop.
the magic was in the bread. Like, it was sort of more of a vessel to translate magic to a person. I don't think the...
Are you saying the poop is not warded?
I feel like the poop probably is just as easy to find as any other poop.
Mm.
The other thing is that there are sort of two different kind of things you can do. You can do guards on people that would be sort of individual, and then you can do wards on the camp that would just be kind of every night kind of thing.
Oh yeah, true.
What did you roll?
14.
14. All right. Added to a Blue's roll of... You notice that he is like a... You had given him a bit of flack earlier, but now that you're actually working with him, he's not that bad. He got a 28.
Wow.
Or sorry, an 18 plus 14 would be 22, 32. And then he's got plus 6, which makes it 38 total. It almost seems quieter when you're inside the bounds of the ward. It's a really strong one with both of you guys working together.
Awesome. That's what we want.
Meanwhile, because there's such a large group of you, John, Stone, and Red are willing to help out to clear up all the tracks behind you.
Okay. I rolled a 30 for sleuthing to find clues that would lead to us and eliminate them.
You have a pit in the bottom of your stomach, realizing that you've left something behind.
Oh no.
You know what it is. It's the masks.
That's pretty bad. Oh no. Okay. Well, it's... I mean, I left my wallet.
There's your wallet and your masks.
I'm
I have a
going to need
ward-
some
okay.
guards.
So would a ward on a person expire? I don't even know what that number is. That's not a number. What? Oh, it's a 13, I think.
Yeah, 15 or 13.
Something vaguely legible.
Yeah.
Hey, Vesta.
Yes.
Would you mind putting a guard up?
I have guarded the group. Me and Blue have guarded the group.
I mean, just to be safe, though.
On you specifically? You almost should ask Blue to do that. Because he seems really good at this stuff.
Oh, okay. Hey, Blue.
Yeah.
Would it be too much trouble to put a guard up on me? Because I think they might have a pretty good solid piece of clothing that could be traced right back to me, and that's kind of terrifying.
That's an odd situation. He almost doesn't notice that you're worried. He just kind of looks off in the distance and strokes his beard a little bit. In terms of preventing ritual magic, if anything, they have something deeply powerful, and you're correct. However, we could use this against them in turn.
Okay, lure them into a trap? Is it a two-way thing?
It's sort of well, you know how you can have guards and wards upon yourself?
Sure.
Backwards. They try anything, we bounce it back at them.
Well, they're most certainly going to try something. So that's actually maybe not a bad idea. Yeah. That could work really well.
All right. You see that Blue picks up a bunch of little tiny things and seems to be making some sort of talisman. He takes some time and then passes it to you.
All right. Okay.
And he just holds it and is like, now what?
Yeah, now what? So do I just keep this on me?
Where's the set of instructions to operate this?
It's kind of just a bunch of stuff tied together as far as you can tell, because you don't really know magic so good.
Huh. Okay. I will affix this to, my jacket.
All right.
Kind of like one of those when you go skiing and you keep the ski tag on your jacket because you're just, that's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right in the front little chunk of your zipper.
Yeah.
I had so many of those.
Oh, God, yeah.
Our roommate still has some of those on his jacket.
So who's going to be on watch during the late night?
Yeah, so I was on first watch.
Mm-hmm. Did you draw for the first watch?
I did not.
Oh.
Boom. A 6 or a 6?
At this
Spade
point,
or
the
club?
suit does make a difference.
Ooh.
I don't remember which one's which, so I'm going to say this one.
Clubs. So, as everybody's going about their business and you finish putting up some of the wards on the camp, you notice that around the edge of camp there's just little pinpricks. You're struggling to see them. Out here in the valley, things are kind of big, wide, and flat, and there's a lot of snow. And it's like you can't see a shape, you just see two little glimmering dots. You're sort of leaning in closer and closer until something swipes at you. It's almost like an image of the outside of the camp sort of collapsing as this thing almost... It looks like it's made of snow, almost more like flurries swiveled together than anything else. It's something you dispatch reasonably quickly. You manage to dispel it and expel it from the camp, but you take the 6 damage in the process.
Okay. All right.
So what about the late night?
So, okay. Do you guys want to have a watch?
Yeah, I'll take a watch.
Because I have...
Don't we have dawn?
Yeah, I have you guys on dawn, but I think we're getting up at dawn and moving.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that before, because I'm not the best watch during the day, while we're moving.
Yes,
I'm in the cart and not really the best. So I don't mind switching shifts.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so do you guys want to do this next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take
Penny and Reggie are the next one.
I'll take the draw for it.
All right.
So my options are 10 of clubs or 3 of hearts, and I will do the 10 of clubs.
Oh, okay.
All right. Just like last watch, there's another set of pinpricks. It seems to have reformed again, but bigger, this sort of flurry creature. Just like with Vesta, you have an axe, and so you manage to sort of turn it to the flat and just swat this thing out of the air. That being said, it puts up a bit of a stronger struggle this time, dealing you the damage on the card 10.
I'm cold, that's why. I'm thinking of my bedroll the entire time. It's nice and warm and not
Gets
here.
everywhere.
Yes, that's the best part of the bedroll. It gets everywhere and it's warm.
The warmth that just seeps into
It
you.
seeps into you.
Or seeps out of you
If your bed is cold.
or if you did a bit of a pee in the bed, then it would warm seeps out of you.
But then it seeps back into you.
Reggie does not pee his bed.
It is a legitimate warmth dispersal tactic.
Yes.
Now is not a time to discuss the thermodynamics of urination.
Yes, I did do survival training, Henny. I do know that urine is used in survival situations, but I don't think nice and warm in a bedroll is a survival situation.
Okay.
Just telling you some cool facts.
You were the one that brought up that it gets everywhere. I mean,
Whatever.
As you say gets everywhere, you feel like a shifting and something touching your hands. As you look down, the talisman has sort of crumbled to pieces. You can't even see them in the snow. They just seem to be gone.
that's not good. I'm gonna go to our blue sleeves.
Before you have a chance to do that, like you look down and you look up and see the sort of haze of snow at the edge of the camp. And you see something through it, which is disorienting because usually the scrying isn't a you thing.
I've read books about this, but I don't like it.
Just another one of your hallucinations.
No, this is different from a hallucination.
You see that there's a group of people camped outside. Someone very angry looking in plate leaving the tower itself. You're exasperated, but at least you have time off now. It's a pain whenever people come that late at night. You recognize the people who had been chasing you, and you recognize this as being the last major village you were at. You're still ahead of them.
That's
It
good news.
fades.
Okay, so we're still ahead of them. They're also stopping to sleep.
They asked the village wizard to scry on.
Well, I didn't think it could be trusted.
Yeah, those darn village wizards doing anything to not get horribly murdered.
Yes, but like, if you're not a very good wizard, if you can't see that coming,
Sure.
ward your tower from assholes. It's not that hard.
Speaking of assholes, who's on watch next?
Absolution Rollins.
I just like the idea that Leland, back in his blacksmith shop, making knives, has a ward right out front that is set to detonate whenever an asshole walks over it. It's just...
Well, that's how he dies, is because he sets that up and then walks over it and it explodes.
Oh, the folly of Leland. He doesn't realize.
As you're getting penetrated by a bunch of knives that have been embedded in the floor, you're just like, oh.
Oh, man.
All right, twilight goes by and it's dawn again.
Okay, well, good news. We're still ahead of them. And it seems like they had to go to an outside source to do scrying, which means that they don't have a wizard in their party, which is good. The bad news is they do have, they definitely have my wallet, which they used to scry on me, and they have probably my masks too. So they can scry on us, or on me, sorry, very easily. But we are still ahead of them, because they had to stop to talk to a wizard. So, I think sum total, we're kind of right back where we were before last night. Just got to keep on moving, keep wards and guards up, and we should be fine, I think.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
Alright.
let's get moving.
Let's get moving.
Start packing stuff up.
Edelwald grimaces as he brings you some stuff. Steelfist has this, ochre fur coat that doesn't look good. You have this big forest green looking thing. It's the only thing the right size. It's like a green Santa coat, basically.
Matches my skin. Just like, look, I'm naked.
You can't tell, but everyone else can tell that it's like that frustrating thing when it's like a 3/4 of a shade off.
And the complete wrong texture. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't look like a turtle at all.
now I hate this because your hat is canonically bright purple.
It's not bright purple, it's bright teal.
Oh, teal. Okay. I thought you had to
So
think-
basically I have variations of green throughout my entire appearance. None of it matching. None of it working together at all.
Okay.
I'm like one giant green swatch palette.
Whew, you're making a statement.
The statement is, I'm warm.
You feel warmer?
Slightly.
Oh, I guess it's working.
How much does that cost me? How much do I owe you at all?
Honestly, I just keep it on hand.
Oh, okay, well, I'll give it back to you when I don't need it.
He just sort of shrugs.
Okay.
All right.
I go up to Steelfist and I do say, hey, you finally got one that fits.
I mean, not aesthetically.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
So who's at the head of the group?
Steelfist is at the head, and I would say Johnstone is at the back.
All right. You guys make some nice solid progress through dawn as you guys travel away. Want to pull up the map?
Mm-hmm.
Pull up the map. It's a map.
All right. You guys make it halfway through the next square there.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, we've got the other ones loaded. Why don't we check how far you guys are from Last Hearth right now?
Oh, you're testing me. All right, let's see if I actually loaded all these. All right, I got all the way up to our village. So where do you want me to go? One up or one over?
One over.
To E3?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we're heading.
Mhm.
And that's where we are. All right, so yeah, we're just kind of going up, over, and back down again by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll be heading into F2 for a brief bit. Very brief bit.
Very brief. Just for a moment.
Just a hair.
Yeah, and then over. So, yep.
All right. So after coming back from the rear guard, you notice Johnstone fiddling with something, and he mutters to Red and Elmira. Eventually, they all kind of look at you guys gathering, sort of at the head of the group, and Johnstone walks up to you guys. He doesn't present you with whatever he's holding, you just know that he's holding something. And he goes, once we get to the right intersection, it might be good if we take a little mountain pass that's not on the maps there.
You know of a mountain pass that is not on the maps?
Yep. See right there where it's a bit north of here? Mountains get real thin.
Yeah.
We can get through there.
Really?
Hmm?
I'm assuming he is referring to roughly around here-ish?
Yeah.
What would I have to roll to check our chances? Because now, see, it makes sense that, a couple people on foot could make it through there, but we have a couple of wagons, and what would I have to roll to see if this plan makes... Does that sound right? That there would be a big enough path for wagons to go through?
Roll science.
Science. Min-Max? Never heard of her. 20.
20. You look at the area around you. Here it's wide open valleys, and though the mountains are really sharp around here, based on how they're built in the map and how the mountains kind of level out a little bit towards the tundra, you reckon you might be able to get... I mean, you'd need to see the pass, but...
Yeah. Well, if we can get the wagons through there, and if it's not known to our pursuers, then that makes a lot of sense.
All right, next marker stone, we should be able to go off the trail then.
Perfect.
A marker stone, eh?
Hmm?
That leads to Last Hearth?
Yeah. All the little dots there, marker stones.
Huh. Could you refer to them as Hearthstones?
No, I believe that would be inaccurate.
Huh. Okay.
Why would you want them to be called Hearthstones?
I love Hearthstone.
What's Hearthstone?
It's this game in Hammerhold.
That's a game in Hammerhold where you the rules constantly keep on changing and no one's happy.
But if you keep up with the meta like I do, then it's a blast because you get to show off how smart you are to other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Red joins in on that one and just like leans in and is like, "Oh my god, you should have seen the shit they came out with last season. It is so unbalanced. It's like they just dumped it on." And like he gets that far before realizing that no one else is on board with the conversation topic.
Yeah, no, I just play it every once in a while.
Yeah, me too.
Poor Red. Yeah, my default class is lawyer.
So who's at the head of the group next? It's now the early morning.
I guess I'll put Red and Elmira.
All right. You guys make some okay progress. You make it right up to the stone by the time the next chunk rolls around and you guys change guard. You see that there's a lot of people who camp around here. There's one big stone that's been put up in the middle of here that's kind of like a beacon almost. It's not towering or anything. It's maybe 4 stories, which is like...
Pretty big.
Yeah, but also not that big for a rock. Like, it's still definitely big.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't build a town around this rock, but you would camp around it.
You wouldn't start a religion about it.
You wouldn't start...
You wouldn't call it like God's thumb or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't. I try not to start religions as much as possible. Now, I kind of thought maybe he had picked up the marker stone.
Now, I just want to kind of jump back to this God's thumb thing. Is it just me, or what was that called again? Holes?
Yes.
Did holes get real religious real fast?
It gave me whiplash how religious it got.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
I've read the sequel book where he survived a scorpion bite and then gets in trouble with the mob, and I think he shoots a guy. But
I hate that I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not.
I was genuinely like, they made a sequel? He gets bit by a scorpion? Like...
Are you serious, dude?
I think I am. Now I have to know. Okay, my phone's not here, so you're all spared. But
We're safe.
We're safe.
For now.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
When the stream is over. And I swear there was something about because he was real fat when he got there, and then he got real skinny and real buff, and he was always going on about I'm buff, but I'm a fat kid at heart, and one of my friends survived a scorpion bite, and the mob's trying to kill me, so I have to run up the hotel that my brother is at.
I don't think this is. I don't think this is the sequel to Holes, because Shia LaBeouf was never a thin boy, or never a fat boy.
That being said, I think that's something that they changed for the movie. Like, I read the book and watched the movie, and like,
I think he might have been like a little bit pudge, but not like.
Yeah, he was like obese.
It was like an afterthought thing, like, and I happened to lose a lot of weight type of thing. It wasn't like a character moment.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of character, which of our many characters is at the head of the watch?
Shia LaBeouf?
Rollins?
Well, yeah.
Absolution and Corvo.
All right. You guys have started heading off the path proper, so now you're going pretty much in a straight line to where it's thinnest, but not that far. Yeah, a little further. There you go. Perfect.
I'm gonna take Vesta aside and say, "Hey, Vesta, I don't know, but I think something might be up with Red and Johnstone. Johnstone was holding something. and then he decided to take us on the shortcut. I would go talk to him, but I feel like every time I try and do that, it kind of goes poorly, and you have a bit of a better rapport.
Okay, I'll go talk to him.
I thought it would take more convincing than that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Bess is just a good leader. She heard you out and then just went, all right, yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll go. It was Red that had the thing, right?
Johnstone.
Johnstone. I go to Johnstone. Like, hey, what's that thing you found? The thing that you found earlier.
Oh, I didn't find anything.
Oh, you were holding something. I thought you found it.
Roll understand.
14.
He has no idea what you're talking about, but not like you're wrong. More like he's having a bit of an old man moment.
I try to. Okay, I'd be more specific. Like, when we were on this road, and
Just
you
about
like
to come to the bend.
Yeah, about to come to this bend, and you were like, we should go to the pass. You came up to us, you were holding a thing.
Oh, yeah. You know how big sword to clan big sword?
Yes.
Well, the lesser houses have different sort of names, and I'm a Johnstone, which is a lesser house of clan Lodestone, and he takes out, like, actually just a super, super old, like 200-year-old little compass.
Cool. That's pretty neat. Does it work?
He just holds it flat and it works. Goes whoop, whoop, whoop.
That's awesome. Cool. That's it. I was just wondering what it was.
Good talking to you, sport.
Yeah. I relay this to Henny.
Huh. Well, now I feel a little bit silly for thinking it was something big, but at the same time, you can never be too careful. It could have been an evil stone.
Or a big stone.
Well, no, it could. I will argue with the sort of semantics and the physics of that, because he did have it in his pocket. So it couldn't have been a big stone, Reggie, but like it could have been a small knife or some sort of magic amulet or
I don't think there would be many clans that are the small knife clan. That doesn't sound like a very good clan.
Or a demon.
a demon.
Yeah.
Just holding it?
I was going along with you here. You were like
That doesn't sound plausible.
I'm rolling Arcana to see if there would be such a thing as a demon you could pick up and put in your pocket. I rolled a 16.
You're sure you saw something like that somewhere? You're like this close to leaping through the Arcana book when it occurs to you. You're like, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Is this too far for a joke?
Maybe obsessively leafing through this is kind of what got me into this mess.
Anyway, no, okay. I'm pretty sure you could fit a demon in your pocket. Like a small one.
Yeah.
And if he had, it would have been useful information. Anyway.
Who's at the head of the group now? It's the late morning.
Late morning. I had just said Absolution and Corvo, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guard schedule check-in.
I messed this whole thing up, and now we're totally
I
off.
thought we were already on our mid-morning. I thought we were at noon now.
Did we move between early morning and mid-morning?
Well, we would have hit stones at mid-morning, I think.
Okay.
Are we at noon?
Oh no, we would have hit the stones in the early morning.
Yeah, we would have hit the stones in the early morning. Yeah,
Okay, so then it is noon. Said the same question, but time
Yes.
has passed.
Okay. Johnstone and Henny.
All right, who's pulling the card?
I will.
All right,
Ba-da-dum.
do you have one in your hand?
Nope.
That's in your hand.
All right, so 8 of spades.
Ba-da-dum.
Queen of clubs.
Queen of clubs.
Taking that hit now.
Yeah.
Well, which one is it?
It's the Queen of...
Queen of clubs. All right.
Yeah.
So you're riding ahead of the group, and You see that, like, there's this little... It's like a pine tree, but, like, only a little branch. And it's kind of, like, dangling like a little candy cane with a little red thing on top, like a fruit. It's really bright.
Hmm.
Right as you reach for it, it goes, whoop-ha, and you get stunned on the head. You're sort of looking there for a quarter second when you see that there's a monster creature sort of climbing its way out of the snow. You dispatch it quickly enough, but you take 10 stamina from being bonked right on the face by this thing.
Ugh, you just got Christmas angler fished.
I did. Oh,
The dreaded
Man. Kranglerfish.
Crangler.
I got crangled. Boys, got crangled.
You just
Boys.
got Krampus fished.
Crangled.
Oh, I think if I got Krampus fish, that wouldn't be alive still.
That's true.
And also, it wasn't. No part of it was. Like, the fish part was. The angler Krampus, wasn't it?
Sure. The Krampus angler.
Yeah.
You spend some time discussing taxonomy, let's say, and you move a third of the way to the intersection. The pass Johnstone marks for you is right where those grid lines intersect.
Okay, so he's having us go like towards here, but we're like right here.
A little closer. Like you didn't go very far at all. You were
Oh.
at the line, and then you moved like a little. Yeah.
Mm.
At this point, you guys have also been traveling non-stop a little while. Do you take any time to rest?
Well, I mean, if we're going to take any time to rest, we might as well take it on the...
Bit before the mountain.
Well, I was going to say the trail that they don't know about,
Yeah.
just in case, they've been gaining on us or anything. I think if we push past onto a sort of secret hidden trail as per our plan, then stop, I think, makes the most sense.
Okay, yeah, let's stop. Me and Blue can put some words on you.
Yay. Ward time. I don't...
Eat some food.
Eat some food.
Rest up a bit.
Rest up a bit.
You guys take a moment to just not be moving. You're not that okay with it, but the horses appreciate it. Before too long, it's the early afternoon and you've kicked off again. Because you traveled up to noon, it'll be the late afternoon that you guys are making progress in. So who's keeping watch then?
I'm going to say Reggie and Vesta.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to do it? Or do you want me to do it?
I can get some heals.
Do
it. I'll take 7 of diamonds.
All right.
Of course you will.
There's a moment where the vaguely overcast sky breaks. There's almost like a wave of clouds that just disappear before they're inevitably going to come back. And you're going just the right direction, just the right angle to the sun, that it's like heating the back of your shield. And in spite of the fact that it's frigid air, you're still able to take in a lot of heat from it.
I'm enjoying
Photosynthesis.
That's not what this is.
No.
Cold-blooded heating up.
You move like halfway to the intersection of the grid lines from where you are.
Starting up a convection oven.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, yes. It's great. Despite being green, I am not a plant.
I would like to point out that was a joke.
I know.
And I'm not dumb.
I know. It's just the way you said it with such confidence. It threw me. It threw me so much.
So it's now roughly dinner time-ish. Are you guys gonna keep going a little while?
Yes.
Yes,
I think we should keep going a little bit. Just a little bit further.
I agree.
Because every little bit further we go is the further we are away from the people trying to kill us.
All right, in that case, who's at the head of the group?
Corvo and Johnstone.
Match made in heaven.
I think they would be good friends.
They definitely would be good hunting partners.
Should be close, good friends.
You guys actually make really solid progress. You make it just slightly past that intersection, right at the crest of the mountains. As it happens, you manage to snag a campsite. Not that this is a well-worn trail or anything. It's more like a place that Johnstone knows where to go. And there's a hollow that works perfectly for you guys to sit and look at the valley on either side. Oh, we're a bit further than that.
Oh, wow.
Like, move the pin out completely. Can you see sort of where the mountain crest would be on the other side of that intersection?
Like
Other side.
other side?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay. I didn't think we'd travel that far.
No, you guys made really good headway.
We've been grooving.
We're moving. We're grooving. It's like that gif of the aliens.
Uh-huh.
What I'm talking about?
No.
I have a 67% chance, like, that I know what you're talking about. And I'm vibing with that.
It's the they're grooving.
I have
gif.
a 1% chance to know what you're talking about, and nope.
Nope.
I love it. They're grooving. And they're wiggling.
I almost don't want to see it because it seems so much funnier in my head seeing how much you're being affected by this.
It's a good gif.
Are you sure you didn't just imagine this in like a burst of ecstasy?
It might totally possible, but if I did, then I could probably get a lot of online likes.
So these aliens.
They're grooving.
You say they're grooving.
They're grooving.
Like
You guys settle into your campsite, presumably now that it's like evening. As you talk about these aliens who are grooving.
They're grooving.
uh-huh. Okay. Are they like gray?
So, like, these aliens, they come from the heavens, right? Does that make them celestial? Are they celestial beings?
I don't know. They're just grooving.
I don't know, that sounds like a celestial thing, but it might also be a dark thing.
No, no. I'm rolling Arcana. That's a dark thing. What you've described is a dark thing.
Grooving?
Yeah. Just the whole energy here, the way it's lashed onto your skull.
That sounds pretty chaos to me, and that's kind of
Mhm.
their jam.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something they would groove to.
Reality?
I will say, what did you roll for Arcana?
4.
I rolled like a 16.
You are fully aware that this is pretty much completely incorrect.
That it would be a dark thing?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but moving and grooving on its own in a vacuum is a very undark thing to do. It doesn't have that sneaky subtlety to it. It's a
Darklings
loud
move
thing.
and groove.
But they're not grooving like these boys.
They build a big cesspool and then they groove in it until someone comes along.
I would say that they lurk. They're a very quiet type. They're not jamming down there. Jamming
Well-
would be showy. Jamming is for demons and celestials.
I almost want to pull it up.
No, they have these
Well-
dark things, these dark little sludge things, and they're like, we're gonna have a queen, and it'll be horrifying. And they do that, and they build like in the shadows or whatever, and then what do they do all day? Oh, they move it and groove it. Just for themselves.
What about we move on and groove on from this line of questioning and focus on how we're doing in this camp this fine evening?
Did you find it?
I did. I don't know if I should show
I wanna see
everybody.
it. Yeah.
Gabe will decide if it's worthy for
I
everyone
shall
else to
be-
see. Reggie is working on a secret project.
Those aren't aliens! Where did you get aliens from that? They're just stick figures. They actually are just darklings. Show Will. Show Will.
There's a better one. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Ugh.
There's a better one that I'll find later.
So, who's keeping an eye out in the evening proper?
Vesta and Elbjorn.
Mm.
I will
Okay.
pull the card.
You wouldn't need to pull one for this one. It happens to be a calm time right now.
Okay, perfect.
You guys have a moment, just sort of quietly, while the rest of the group is settling in. It's big, wide, empty, and open. Big stretches of snow like things were back home. You get a little pang of nostalgia. Who's going to be keeping watch next?
Who?
I have Vesta and Elbjorn written again.
Well, that can't be. You gotta pick someone. Use your executive brain.
Yeah, be the leader.
Be the leader. Be the leader your mom always knew you could be.
Vesta and Elbjorn will do it again. We'll do a double shift.
Okay.
All right. Who's drawing the card? Is it going to be Vesta or Albion?
I will do it.
All right.
8 of Hearts.
Is that the one you're playing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're actually particularly well insulated against the cold. You're used to it. You grew up like this. You know how to like dig yourself little cozy spots in a snowbank, and you actually get a nice, pleasant, almost chair carved out for yourself throughout your watch. Time wears on, and it's the late night. Who's on watch?
Late night. Absolution and Rollins.
Okay. What about the witching hour?
Trunk and Elmira.
And twilight?
Steelfist and Johnstone.
In that case, you guys wake up at dawn.
And it's Henny and Reggie.
Oh boy.
You want to take this one?
I do. King of Hearts. I win.
That does beat my 3 of Hearts. You're
Just beat your
correct.
3 of Hearts.
Are you guys spending any time in camp, or are you heading back
Well,
on the road?
we got to get on the road. We got to get out of here. We got to put some distance between us and them, because if we don't, we're just running until they catch up.
As it happens, from where you're situated, you see that Elmira and Johnstone and Red are all, like the trio again, are all standing at the edge of the cliff looking out. They all seem to come to the conclusion that you guys aren't being followed, up here into the pass at least.
Well, that's comforting. Do they know where we're going? Would they
I
have
have-
any way to know where we're going?
I have a ward on you, specifically. So.
Yes.
So far, you've noticed actually that the wards aren't fading. Looks like your suspicion was right, and even though they can hire wizards at towers, they don't have any wizards of their own.
Okay.
Well, that's comforting. We just have to bribe every single wizard we pass. And then when they pass the wizard, he'll be like, "Oh, haha, I can't see him."
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Or we don't.
Well, easy for you to say. They don't have your wall-in masks.
Well, I also don't have the money to pay them to bribe them.
Well,
Yeah.
neither.
And we have wizards here. People who can ward you and stuff.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking like we have some sort of advantage where we're going to pass by every single thing that they pass by first. We could maybe use that to our tactical advantage.
But they're not following us through here.
Right, but hypothetically, if we were to pass a wizard, we would know, oh, hey, they're going to have a wizard. When, like, a couple nights from now. Although now that we're in front of them and taking a different path, that might no longer be true.
Absolution chimes in. I figure we've bought ourselves some time, if anything.
Well,
They'll be going that long, winding way along the hunting trail, suspecting that's how we've gone, and we've bought days upon days against them.
that's true.
Yeah.
Although it's just now occurring to me that we could have set a devious sort of explosion trap and just buried it in the road. Although that would be maybe a hazard to passersby. Now that I'm thinking of it, that might sort of be considered an act of terrorism.
I do have a wildening salt.
I don't know what that is. Is it? Is that going to help us in this situation?
Henny, you notice Blue, who is not part of this conversation, just kind of pales a little, and he doesn't say anything. He just keeps going about his day.
Where did? So what does it do? Does it help us be sneaky or?
Sneaky. If we were to set a trap,
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be useful.
Okay, so this is probably extremely lethal.
It's. I think there are opinions.
Don't worry about it.
Is it legal?
I think lots of people.
Right when you say, "Is it legal?" Again, to your surprise, Rollins, the former law enforcement officer with which you have worked previously, walks up and goes, funny stuff, and like puts a hand on your back and just sort of like, and turns the other way and then walks away.
I mean, he's not a legal man anymore, surely. He quit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have problems going up against governments, I have kind of bad news about our whole operation.
Rollins?
Yeah. I'm not saying that out loud to him, but I am saying that to Vesta.
Well, what's Vesta got to say about that? You got a problem with Rollins?
No.
It's just, I just thought he would be more cool, I guess.
Wait,
Come on, man, be cool.
I'm so confused. Why is Rollins not cool?
Because he was like, we don't need to talk about if it's legal or not. And it's like, if it's illegal, then I need to know so that, like, I don't say, hey, guards, don't we have some wilding salt, you know?
I'm wanted for, like death
Yeah.
in, like, a lot of places.
Yeah.
9 systems.
I don't think it matters too much if I'm carrying something that's minorly illegal.
Well, listen, all I'm saying is that you never want to break 2 laws at once, because if they catch you for the minor thing, that could lead to the major thing.
If they catch me at all, I'm dead.
Right, but like, say we're going through a checkpoint.
Just forget about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, I'd like to be informed. And if we're carrying contraband goods, I feel like that's something, that you could have shared with, the rest of the group of people traveling with you.
What you are carrying is carrying on with your business. You guys have made some distance overland. You've made it about 5 clicks. Who's at the head of the group during the early morning?
Henny and Reggie.
Yay! All right. You've made it just to sort of where the pale stuff begins again. Which one of you guys is drawing a card?
Me! I can't draw that one a second time, I suppose. 7 of diamonds.
All right. It's pretty bright early in the morning, but once sort of the snow blindness fades away and you get a good view of things, it's nice. The big, wide open space is a refreshment after confined city and confined mountains and confined forests and confined other forests. Mm-hmm. It's good to just have open air, fresh air, cold air. Reggie probably disagrees.
Cold air. Hey, Reggie? Note taken.
Normally I would have had you rolling the cold damage by now, but it seems like the code is helping. Again, just like before, you've made some really solid progress. You make it up to the grid line in the corner to re-intersect with the main road there. Who's going to be at the head of the group through the late morning?
Trunk and Rollins.
All right. You guys keep going a little bit further. You're about halfway between where you are and the road proper. It's about noon now. The wind is starting to pick up, and there's sort of these almost like little swept up jets, the way that sand goes over dunes in the desert, of snow sort of tossing itself through the air.
How much further are we on this? Oh, we're just coming out of that trail now, eh?
Yep.
Shortcut. Perfect.
Who's at the head of the group at noon?
Oh.
Looking at you.
She was reacting to the truck that was honking at the intersection.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still going.
He's still going.
It's still going.
Steel Fist and Corvo.
All right.
It was really loud.
He had things to say.
It was a big honk.
Yeah.
The biggest.
You guys make some real solid progress and make it onto the road itself. You're just shy of the grid line and heading along the Nomad Trail there.
All right.
At this point, it's the early afternoon. You guys have been traveling a decent amount of time. Who's the head of the group?
Reggie and Vesta.
All right, which one of you guys is drawing?
I'll do it. All right, 9 of clubs or 3 of hearts. I'll take the 9 of clubs.
All right. So you are walking along the trail when you see that there's a couple of ice elementals that start running up to you. Just little piddly things that you just need to fight off real quick. It would be nothing, just 2 swings, and you do dispatch them in a couple, but just one of them sends you a little off balance, and unsure snow kind of tips the edge, and you go poof, into a snowbank.
Oh no.
I'm just picturing a cartoon, like, exact Reggie shape with, like, axe in hand, like, the exact shape of his axe, everything perfectly outlined of Reggie just...
Have you seen the gif of the dude with the snow shovel that is, like, actively in the process of falling down for, like, 30 seconds?
Yes.
I got something to show you at some point.
Okay.
It almost looks faked.
Okay.
Like, almost like this man, there's no possible way this man is that bad at standing up on slippery ground.
It's like he keeps gaining ground and losing it. He goes from, like, 60% balance to 40% balance to 60% balance, like, 5 times.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
every time that he's managed to right himself, that only throws him just in the opposite direction of falling, so he has to lean forward more, and he's head face first into a snowbank.
That's beautiful. It's lovely.
At least you make some decent progress. You make it just to the other side of the grid line there.
Reggie is muttering about snow the entire way.
The thing is, you're wearing chain and plate, right? And you feel face first in, and so you can get it off the plate, and there's like a little bit in the rim, which is frustrating because you got to clean it, but it's the fact that it gets in the chain, and so you have these little pockets of snow that you physically cannot, like, de-snowify that are stuck to your
no.
clothing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And it's not like I'm warm-blooded. That's just... It's just there.
It's just there now.
It exists. It's forever, like, pressing against me.
Shouldn't
Could
have
do
fallen.
like an air blast. Like,
I think a blast of cold air would just make Reggie grumpier.
Sounds like Reggie needs to lighten up. Come on.
See, now I'm just imagining the perspective
Make a
shift,
face
like with
full.
last session, but instead of, like, slowly coming upon the masks with, like, gradual increasing tension, it's like, aha, we found a clue, and it's a Reggie-shaped hole in a snowbank.
No, see, I was picturing as soon as Reggie gets up, Henny runs over and, like, starts covering it up. So it's like,
Absolutely.
we can't leave a trace. This is too obviously you.
And then they find there, and someone's like, they clearly went this way. Look, boss, I found something we can scry with. It's his dignity.
Fucking dude in plate just stares for 5 minutes and goes, turtle.
Portal.
So who's the head of the group in the late afternoon?
Trunk and Rollins.
Oh. Rollins. Love that guy.
Rollins. What a guy, you know?
What a dude. What a dude.
I'm starting to feel insulted on behalf of my NPC.
What a guy.
Are you being facetious right now?
What a guy.
I don't know
Are
the
you
meaning of
being
the
facetious?
words.
I don't know why we're being so mean to Rollins.
I'm not being... I said I liked him.
I like Rollins.
Rollins? I like him.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Cool mofo.
Rollins is like ahead of the group, and he just kind of like turns around a little bit, turns back ahead. Like, you guys make it from where you are to where the road intersects the grid line next,
Well, when it intersects it next, like
Yeah.
there? Yeah, okay.
which means, are you willing to double check the next square real quick? E3.
Yep, just give me a sec. E3.
There's a joke about all the cool video games he finds there.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, there's no
Now
good
it just
video
kind of
games.
sucks.
Oof.
There's no good video games there. No, there's only Last Hearth, which is the final Hearthstone expansion, and it's not good.
Pretty bold of them to say this is the last one. Like, oh yeah, no more. Y'all just gave up.
They just gave up on it.
So bad at
Like StarCraft 2, they just gave up on it.
poor StarCraft 2.
So you guys have taken a little bit of time to rest this time around. Are you guys going to keep going through dinner again?
Yes.
Okay. Who's at the head of the group then?
Elmira and Johnstone.
All right. Luckily, you seem to have the right pair ahead as they scout out a nice good campsite for you by the time you get to the other end. You guys make it to the next sector, just on the very edge.
Okay, I screwed up by going to the time sheet again. And come on, let me select. There you go. So we are all the way over here.
Precisely. You guys can't see Last Hearth from here, but you're aware from the maps and like what people have told you about the area that you're not too far off. I'm going to briefly disappear.
Briefly disappear. Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa.
This is the perfect moment for me to continue my search.
For the perfect alien groovin' gif?
There's one specifically that I'm thinking of.
Like, how grooving are the aliens?
They're just kind of popping a squat.
Is it like...
Okay.
It's not even a gif.
Well, it's a picture.
And they are just kind of popping a squat. I don't know if this can be considered grooving.
They're grooving.
I understand that the gif is them, like the picture is them on the dance floor, but I don't think they're actually grooving at all.
They do look like Darklings, though.
They do look like Darklings. Though.
Yeah.
Every description of a Darkling I've ever heard, that definitely fits the description.
They're grooving.
Are okay.
I don't know how trustworthy that is, but okay, sure, why not?
They grooving.
Okay, why are you drawing guns?
I don't know.
Guns in particular.
I like guns.
Fair enough.
This one is a glue gun, so I don't know what your problem is.
You should draw a picture
Draw a soldering gun.
of Vesta.
Okay.
Draw a picture of Reggie getting up out of the hole in the ground.
Gabe has actually been playing this like gun simulator game,
Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
and we
You
keep.
have VR?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Oh,
yeah.
did I not tell you this story?
No.
I won a hackathon.
Oh, nice.
Not like I won a award in the hackathon, which gave me a VR set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So now I have a VR set.
Yeah,
So, fair enough. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
Yeah.
it'd be good.
Yeah.
Apparently, there are rumors of the ray gun, the zombies ray gun in it.
Ooh.
But we haven't been able to find
We haven't been able to find it.
That's unfortunate.
It might not
Utter
be a hoax,
disappointment.
but someone online said it was in there, and I believe everything I hear online.
Why would anybody online ever lie to you?
Anyway, show Will the gift so that we can put this thing to death. And by
It's
this, I
not
mean
a
the
GIF,
stream.
it's a
I think
picture.
I think if you show him this, the stream will have officially lost its momentum.
Yeah, the stream has officially derailed, and...
They're grooving.
And they are Darklings.
I would like to inform our attentive and very patient audience that, yeah, they're grooving and they're Darklings. I would never have guessed that was the meme, and I did not know what it was.
See, you had the XCOM 99%, and you took the shot, and he just shot the floor.
It happens.
They're grooving.
Those XCOM boys are working hard.
They're working hard. They're stressed out, all right?
They're doing their best to X the com.
Yeah.
So it is evening now, after dinner time, and you guys have settled into camp. What are you guys up to?
Man, I'm really stressed because we're kind of being chased, and I hate that. I hate
I
being
am
chased.
stressed because I am in my wagon cleaning off all of my fucking armor and drying my clothes that got wet.
There's just this deep damp that permeates. It's the worst.
I'm not happy. And I'm cold because I'm naked while doing this.
I'm gonna put a ward on myself.
Good call.
All right. And there are PCs in the first of the watches, and then the rest are NPCs, right?
I think it's PCs in the last of the watch.
Okay, well, so Dawn. Dawn is Henny and Reggie.
Mhm.
And then
Who's like early?
early night is Elbjorn and Vesta, and then the rest
Okay.
of them are
Okay.
What would I have to roll to think real hard? How is there any way for them to know where we're planning to go? Or are they just straight up following us based on tracks?
I'm not going to answer that.
That's fair.
I mean, there is only one really big city, and they probably do have a list of high priority targets.
I guess what I'm saying is that if we were to switch directions, completely flip the script on them, would they have a way to follow us and know about it? I guess we should have done this back when we were at that hiking trail, or the Nomad Trail, where we kind of got away from them. If we had...
We're still days ahead of them right now.
I guess you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe we can just keep going and get there first and set up a bit of a base. I mean, it's too late now.
Speaking of too late, it's the early night. Who is keeping watch? I guess it would be Elbjorn and Vesta, right?
Yeah.
Which you guys going to be drawing a card?
Elbjorn will.
All right.
It's not too late. Never too late.
Nothing bad seems to go on throughout the night. Eventually, it's dawn when you guys are all up again. Are you going to go for an early start, or are you going to lag a little bit?
Early start. Henny's pushing everyone. Like, okay, get up. We got to keep moving.
Reggie is very grumpy about having to move after spending the night cleaning all the snow out of his armor and drying his clothes.
You missed a spot, Reggie, and I got a little part of the armor for you.
Reggie just glares directly at you and goes, "No, I did not."
No, it's right. It's okay. Never mind. We got to get moving.
All right.
He's not falling for your shit.
I'm not falling for your shit.
He's military. He knows how to clean his armor.
I thought I saw a little spot there that looked.
No.
Okay.
Trust me, I would know.
Okay. I was just.
Hey, Reggie, roll social weapon.
Social weapon?
Oh Jesus.
All right. That's 11. That's 14.
You fix Henny's weapon straps. They're a little low.
You'll throw off your walk if you keep them like that. It's not good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's keep moving.
All right. You guys make some solid headway. Who's drawing the card?
Me. The 6 of spades.
You taking it, or are you taking it?
I'm taking it because the other one is like an 8 of spades.
Yeah, you took the 7 of diamonds before.
So, Gabe, you're from out wester ways where it's
Yeah.
big and flat and full of snow.
Big and flat and full of snow.
You ever taken that one fateful step where there is no way on the surface that you could know that you have left a stable, like level
Uh-huh.
thing, like at
Uh-huh.
the edge of a ditch, and just one of your steps goes down?
Our city mayor released a statement saying walk like a penguin.
Henny fails to walk like a penguin and goes down.
Oh, man. Thank God I'm not wearing a whole bunch of tricky metal plate to clean and I have fur.
Reggie was about to, like, offer you a hand to get up, and then he's just like, nope.
Oh, no.
All right.
Don't stop for me. Keep going.
It's the early morning. Who's on guard here?
Vesta and Elbjorn.
All right, which of you guys has taken the card?
I will do it.
All right.
Oof. That is a large oof. I'm going to do same as Gabe. 6 of spades.
Yeehaw.
All right. So you've got big old bun feet, so you don't encounter the exact same fate. However, you end up having to help Tiffany's wagon get out of the sort of slush right at the edge of the ditch. It takes a bit of effort, but you get it moving. Meanwhile, we should probably track our progress on the map there real quick.
Yeah, probably. I don't think we tracked the last one either.
That's all right. I know how much it was. In total, now that the early morning has ended, you'd have passed that stop and you'd be just shy of that village. You can see the vague shape of Last Hearth in the distance, like this bloated, cancerous tumor of a cabin. You can't see any determined features. You just see lump of roofs, basically.
That's a town for sure.
Who's going to be at the head of the group in the late morning?
Rollins and Elmira.
All right. You overhear some sort of heated yelling about Church of Skrit sectarian conflict, but the good kind of yelling. The compassionate, friendly kind of yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you make it clear of that village, and you make it up to the city of Last Hearth, where you get a good look at the place. Last Hearth is a hulking mass of a city. Here, there have been buildings that have been made taller and wider until they've sort of amalgamated together. Does anybody want to roll politics?
It looks like it's me! 18.
6.
So you're like this close to going and going off in a tirade when Reggie blurts out, "There's secret passages," and you're actually mad because you were going to say there's secret passages.
Well, yes, but I mean, for historical reasons,
For historical reasons, they are called the firewalls. They're empty spaces with a bunch of stone and fire-resistant material stuffed into them so that if there's any fires that break out, they don't consume the entire place, basically. But otherwise, to keep things warm, and because things have become so close-cropped, it's more reasonable to describe Last Hearth as a cabin with a bunch of courtyards and alleys than it is to describe it as a city.
All right.
Oof. Yeah,
Where is our target?
So you guys are seeking out someone by the name of Lord Vulcan. You have a moment to sort of sit and mull things together. It takes you a day. You manage to find lodging. You've done this before. And you get your feelers out into the world. You guys are aware that you're probably going to need to set up some sort of base of operations. You're also probably going to need some sort of work or cover or income of some sort.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. The way I go through food, definitely.
However, it's not long before you discover some word of this Lord Vulcan character. You learn a lot real quick. He's an industrialist of some sort. He's building some construction project way up north. And in a couple days, he has a show. You hear it described as a show, and it's sort of like emotively said that way, the way that people are talking about it, like this big spectacular appearance, but really it's more of like a press conference in structure. It's weird.
Okay, so he's got some news, probably about what he's building.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess the first order of business is to trying to find out where to store like things like our wagons in a way that isn't easily traceable. Is there sort of an abandoned warehouse district that we could we could raid? Is there a...
Or we just, I mean, the people with the wagons are the merchants, right?
Yeah.
So they just sell their stuff as normal. Hiding in plain sight.
That does sound like a really good idea, actually, because I don't think we're going to find an abandoned building large enough to store a whole bunch of wagons.
No, the city, from the description, sounds like it's mostly huts.
And I don't think that, Reginald is going to fit in the vents.
Would be warm in the vents, though.
Would be warm in the vents. Now, these secret passages,
Mhm.
are these like sort of catacomb-level labyrinths, or is it more like there's a lot of alleys in this place?
It's more that there's a lot of alleys, but they're not
Okay.
like alleys you would go and drop trash at.
Yeah.
It's basically like little spaces between buildings. It sort of is in that gray area where you could sort of use both analogies depending on where you are in the firewalls. There's bits where they get narrow and creepy and winding, and there's places where they're actually reasonably wide and where people like walk around day to day as shortcuts.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, we could. The boring road is to set up just, we're merchants, and that's our cover story.
Yeah.
I feel, is there any academia here in Last
So-
Hearth?
You're sort of like lost looking around. At this point, you guys have scattered the entire party around the town to pick up leads while you can. Henny is the one who finds the first of potential places you can settle down. You've actually found that there's a local lord who's leaving town, and not like high level, but still like in the noble rankings per se, and basically needs a house sitter for the next month. The deal is free rent.
I'm a play into that.
All right. Meanwhile, Vesta, you touch base with people, get information, and it seems like, just like before on the road, you've got Johnstone, Elmira, and Red who are all conspiring together. They seem to have picked out a little spot next to the construction site that people have been talking about. Meanwhile, you yourself, walking around the city, found information just by talking to people, getting the lay of the land. These guys are, like Reggie will bumble into information and Henny will sleuth out little details, but you're the one in the party who just talks to people one-to-one. And you gather a lot more information than the others about the details as a whole. It looks like there's going to be a construction project at point B, basically. Last Hearth is point A, where a lot of the stuff is going through. And there's going to be a lot of workers and supplies making that journey. Johnstone, Red, and Elmira have found a campsite that's right outside the construction site that they'll be heading to, that they reckon is probably concealed, has a defensible entry, all kinds of stuff. It's just going to be outside.
Okay.
Lastly, Reggie, of course, is looking for some sort of lead and gets distracted. You're looking at the work bit, and you notice that there's a couple of buildings infested in a village down the road. They're full of darklings, it looks like. As a caveat, it says that whoever clears them out gets a free... You're not sure what it is. It's like a license number 602 or something. It doesn't explain anymore. As you guys are pouring things over, Henny comes in and goes, "License number 602?" You are aware that this is the exact license, which basically is a squatting license. These are buildings that had been infested and fully declared infested. So there's an adventuring party, probably some of you guys, it doesn't need to be a big job, that can clear the place out. And then you'll sit there and make sure nothing comes back until there's a cleanup crew that refurbs the building.
So you can live there, but you can't sell it.
Well, that's certainly good for us.
Yes.
And I'm going to do this either way because I don't like darklings.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
I think we could, because we do have quite a lot of people, I think it would make sense to split up the group a little bit.
There are 15 of us.
Yeah.
There are 15 of us. I think splitting up is a good idea. Now, this minor lord, would having a bit of a in that sense be helpful for gathering intel, or is he like so far removed from the other higher lords that it's like not even worth
He's
it?
going to be gone.
Yeah, he's going to be gone the entire time.
He's going to be gone, but we're going to be living in that, like in his house, which I'm assuming is sort of in the richer part of the town with the other lords, right? Like,
Yeah, you just know that this guy's a low-level noble. You didn't see any notes about being related to life drinkers at all.
okay.
Anything like you could probably gather some sort of intel, but it would be less preparing for your quest and more just the traditional crime of espionage.
You know, it's always fun. Not enough espionage these days.
Well, people are willing to split up. So Vesta going to the camp, Red, Johnstone, and Elmira are willing to go, and Trunk's going wherever Elmira is going.
Okay.
They're the outdoorsy tracker type, so they're interested. Meanwhile, Reggie likes killing shit, Steelfist likes killing shit, Elbjorn likes killing shit, and Tiffany and Ethelwald have a wagon. Which means here back at the estate is Henny, Bea, Corvo, Blue, and Absolution.
All right. Whew.
In that case,
Sounds good.
you guys meet up and split off. We're going to focus on Henny for a little while.
Awesome.
So you're here with your sort of subgroup of people.
Yeah.
A decent bit of time passes, and you guys are getting one night stay being hosted. You introduced your entire group very briefly to the Lord, who was taking a look at the place, and you haven't settled yet, but you're being given the instructions like the last interview before you might not be hired kind of thing.
Okay.
You're being given a tour of the place, and it seems pretty bespoke, if you do say so yourself. It is a 10-bedroom estate. It's amalgamated, which means it connects to the firewalls, but
Okay.
like through locked doors and secret entrances and
Mhm.
stuff. Like it's guarded on this side. It has a 4-wagon garage, stables, a dance/combat hall. It's just a big empty room, really. And, well, the usual free rent thing that was mentioned prior.
All right. Well, I'm just a bit of a traveling academic, and I think it would be a perfect arrangement. I can look after the estate and, get some light reading in and make sure that it's in tip-top shape for when you arrive.
All right. You spend some time talking with them throughout the next little while. Meanwhile, the other 10 of you spend some time journeying north, keeping an eye out for any potential threats that have been left behind you. Blue's with Henny, so you're guarded, but separately you're able to keep an eye on the rest of the group. You make it to the village a little ways north after some time has passed. Here is where you split off again. Reggie and company are able to head towards the village itself. Here you meet the intersection that they have mentioned. There's a couple of infested houses. You see the following. Paper sounds. So there's an old inn.
Okay.
You've been given a lowdown because you need to know how to clear the building, so you need to know some of the layout. The inn is a 5-bedroom with a fully serviceable tavern. There's a stone house, which is an oversized 2-bedroom with a study and library. And there's a farmhouse with 3 bedrooms and a barn, as well as a field for sparring. Excellent real estate. Just got evil things in it.
Farmhouse probably sounds.
So do we have to clear all 3, or is it basically like
All
pick
3.
All 3? Okay, cool. Because I was just like, if I have to pick one, I'm torn between the tavern and the sparring area. Because like, on the one hand, I want the sparring area. On the other hand, I know Steelfist and Elbjorn want the tavern.
Okay, well,
But yeah, okay.
gotta clear all 3 anyway.
Yeah.
All right. You watch Vesta and company depart as you guys walk in. Where are you going first?
Probably the tavern to secure us like places to sleep in case this takes longer than we anticipated.
All right. You guys get ready and walk up to the door ready to storm it. You don't hear much going on the inside. Just sort of the vague hubbub that you would expect from a tavern.
Okay, so wait, like a normal like having a hubbub, like normal noise, like
Mhm.
these darklings are getting hammered.
Yeah.
This will be an easy fight.
Can darklings get drunk?
You have no idea.
Weird.
Turn to Elvron. Faster we clear them out, more beer for us.
All right, you guys kick down the door and rush in. It's almost like interrupting a concert, like a small concert or something bursting through the doors. Like, not everyone pays attention right away because things are loud, but a couple of them look at you. You see just, like, people. Slowly, as, like, you've entered the room, all of them sort of turn and look towards you. Bartender looks at you and goes, "Hey, you! Get you anything to drink?"
No. I'm good.
"Hey, you!" There's a barmaid that walks up to you and goes, "Hey, you! Can I get you anything? Something spice up the night, maybe?
No.
Maybe? Spice up the night? Hey, you!
Like,
You are elsewhere."
yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, Reggie's gonna look around and just like,
Attack them.
obviously I'm going to, but like, Steel Fist. First swing?
He goes, At which point every single one of them like swivel heads and looks to you and goes, "Hey, you!" And
Oh.
they bum rush.
Okay, now's the time.
So, meanwhile, you've traveled a decent way up towards this location. You happen to have the wagon, which is nice. Would you have been willing to leave yours behind so that they can make sure the wagons can make it up?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and you're also with Tiffany and Adelwald, aren't you?
Yeah, so I would be able to ride in their wagon, wouldn't I?
They also are equipped for a fight. Tiffany has armor and fights with them all. Edelwald doesn't wear armor, but fights with a small knife.
I would at least hope that the armor would have armor, so that makes sense.
Real talk, it works. It's a look, and it's very Tiffany. Like, it's a high femme full plate thing. You didn't think you could make it work, but... what do you know?
Never doubted her for a second.
So after trudging your way with this wagon towards the base where the construction project would go, you see that there's a turnoff, and sure enough is the mountain that was pointed out to you. This mountain is known as Four Elders Overlook, but you're going to have to get closer if you want a nice assessment of the place.
Okay, let's keep going.
All right. From there, the wagon has to wind its way up, and you're going to have to do a lot of work to clear this bit.
Okay.
I need you to make a brawn roll.
Is there anybody else with me that could do the brawn roll for me?
Oh no, everyone's doing it at once. This is just your part.
Okay. 4.
All right, so you take 21 damage.
Ooh.
Unless you want to bail.
I can do a 21 damage, that's fine.
All right. Red seems to be doing okay. Johnstone and Elmira are all right. Really, your Shrunk is doing a lot of the work here.
Yeah.
Just drunk.
But sure enough, you clear enough space and get up to the top. It would be a lot of work getting your wagons in and out, but honestly, you wouldn't need to do it that frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're here, you are able to creep your way through. It's abandoned right now, and you don't see any signs of recent habitation. It's a crumbled peak on top of this mountain. There's the winding trail that you went to. As you turn around, you see Elmira actually sitting there and kind of like going like without an arrow, looking around over the top of it and going, yeah. Looks like you've got a decent bit of cover over here on the way up.
Okay.
There's sort of like an overhang here, and then from there you're able to go through a tunnel, and then there's an opening which is like 2 overhangs half overlying each other. You can't get access from 2 of the sides. It's like a T intersection.
Okay.
But from there, just like before, you have like an a place where you could post guards. After going around the far end, there's another overhang that you're able to get through the rest of the tunnel. And from there, you're able to see down into the construction project.
Awesome.
There should be enough room for all of you guys, and I mean, there's no rent because it's fucking outside.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Meanwhile, Henny is in Last Hearth.
I am.
It's been a little while as these guys have traveled along, and you're getting closer to the spot where this guy is going to be doing his announcement. You have sort of an investigative team of sorts with you. How are you putting your ear to the ground?
Well, is the announcement happening today?
It should be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Well, I mean, anything that he's been doing is going to have some sort of paper trail. You know, he's doing this big construction project. No one really knows what it is.
Hmm.
I'd like to do some investigating on that because I doubt it's good.
All right, give me that sleuth roll. It's going to be a DC 25, kind of like the Brawn roll was.
Ah! Oh no, I rolled real bad. That's a... Oh man, that's a 21.
Okay, you take 4 damage.
Whew, hard work.
You spend some time going through the records rooms. It seems like this guy's done a lot of work overseas, so you wouldn't be able to request those archives, and there aren't any copies here. Guy doesn't have a lot of history doing much construction. You know that everything... I mean, you don't have the same clearance as you used to, so you can't get that much, but as far as you can tell, there's nothing illegal going on. The guy's leading a big old construction project. Got the approval for it and everything.
But like materials he's buying, all that? Like it's just wood and mortar and stone? Like...
You don't have those records. All you know is that there is an approved project because the license itself for the project to have been approved is public information, but you don't have anything else.
There's nothing sketchy, eh?
You do manage to find that... Oh, where did I put this note? So far, the project is codenamed as Project Firebrand.
Huh. Firebrand. Like, it doesn't sound great. Absolution? Thoughts? That sounds like a name for something real bad. But also, I mean, you just name projects whatever to keep them secret. Like, he could have pulled it out of a hat.
It could also be some sort of drumming up the public sort of thing. Firebrand. Innovation. That sort of
Big,
nonsense.
bold.
Yes.
I guess. Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I guess we'll spend some time staking out where it's going to happen and seeing if we can, I don't know, find some good place to sit and stand and kind of work out an escape route if we have to sprint out like last time we went to a big event.
Yeah. You start your planning. Meanwhile, it's just like the last one. Yesterday you cleaned out the tavern, and this time you've kicked down the door and there was that awkward moment as you made your way into the building. This time around...
I've decided that when I kick down the door, I'm going to blast them with Celestial and say, "Die, Darklings!" Doesn't matter what the fuck's going on.
All right, you burst through the door and go, "Die, Darklings," and just point. And you happen to have pointed at what appears to be a small child as there's a family of 4 sitting at the dinner table. Nothing happened, though. They all go like this, like, whoom, back to you, and go, "Hey, you," and their faces split in 3 into a big, inky, like, million-toothed maw of sorts.
What the hell's going...
Quickly, the rest of your allies rush into the fray. The children stay their own size, but both of the adults split in 2, and you're fighting 6 people, and you're very slightly outnumbered.
Well, I'll screw that and start fighting with Max.
All right, you rush towards one of them with your axe. It seems to be eyeing you. It waits for a second, and then you see it sort of like sharpen a little needle out of one of its hands as it goes for a quick shiv with precise.
I am vulnerable to precise.
Oh, no.
All right. So then that would be 21, so 42 damage before you do your protection and stuff.
I thought we were just doing armor doesn't count.
Were we?
I thought that's what we decided because Henny took like 50 damage
Right,
one
yeah.
turn.
Okay, in that case, it's armor doesn't count, but it's 21. My
So
mistake. That
hits.
is what we ruled.
That hits.
All right.
Because that was one of the things where it was just like, and he's basically dead now.
Henny hates wolves.
Coyotes.
Coyotes, yes. Well,
Alright.
wolves are just big coyotes, so,
So I'll do some swinging.
All right.
Oh, that's not a good swing. I'm still obsessing over the fact that I can't zappy zap. Let's see. That's 10 and 13.
13. What type of damage?
With the Danax, that would be swift.
All right. Just as this thing sort of maneuvered to try and pierce through your armor plates, you quickly go with a quick slice, like a schlock. It's almost like a little whap of a paintbrush with a bunch of ink going against the wall as you cleave into this thing. It's still kicking. You're beside Tiffany and Elbjorn, who have closed rank. Steel Fist is in the melee, and you lost track of Adelwald, but just as you're sort of going, oh, shit, you see him go behind this thing and just drag it into the darkness real quick. There's a couple of more of them around you. You have to jump on them this time. You're in formation and can tell your allies how you want to move towards them.
I'll just shield. Wall.
Classic shield wall.
My military instincts are kicking in again. That's 10. That's 19.
19. All right. What kind of damage? Swift again?
Did it seem like the swift did?
Yeah, it seemed pretty effective.
All right, yeah, I'll keep it up.
All right. So as you call shield wall, Elbjorn closes in, and you guys sort of pen these things towards one side of the room. Because she's using a two-handed maul, Tiffany is able to get past you guys and get a few swings in from behind. With this help, Steel Fist sort of moves around the room and ping-pongs people into sort of a death corner, and you manage to overwhelm them. Meanwhile...
Ooh.
So you're up here at the peak getting a good look at things when you manage to spot what exactly the area is where the construction project is supposed to be. Looks like some material has been brought there already. A few things, like there's wagons and it looks like there's a small camp, but nothing's been built. From here, you don't have the right eyes, though. You can tell that things are happening, but unless you had like a spyglass or a telescope or something, or you can get to a better vantage point, you won't really know.
Okay. I ask Johnstone where he thinks a good vantage point would be to see what's going on.
He nods and sort of stakes out the area. He mentions that he could probably get to one of the crags really close by. Otherwise, the party as a whole that you're with right now could probably get to a ledge a little ways down if you're willing to do a bit of climbing.
Like if he can just go down and get a pretty good vantage point, then come back up and let me know.
Yeah, he goes ahead. He seems to be a decent climber. He makes his way from boulder to boulder past that first ledge he pointed out, and you see him do like a little sort of hup and get on top of a crag. From there, he does that classic sort of like kind of thing. Before long, he just sort of nods and makes his way back towards you guys. He looks pretty sweaty, but by the time he's made his way back with some panting, he sort of goes, okay, looks like machinery of some sort, maybe? I think I saw people in red robes and black ones, too. Elementalists?
Interesting. Cool. Thanks.
All right. Henny is in Last Hearth.
Cool.
The meeting is just about to start. It's weird. Like, again, this is like a company like business thing. It's not normal for these to be held in like concert halls. But sure enough, people are there, and you're sort of in the middle off to the side a little closer up so that you're able to get a good line of sight, but you're not too far from the doors if you need to be. You've got an escape plan. There's a few of the back alleys that you're able to sneak into, and then you're able to get into the firewalls, and you'll be gone.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Is that I can escape. Don't this meeting. I don't care about that. As long as Henny can book it if she has to.
Sure enough, before long, the lights go dim. And then they get dimmer. And for a moment, you hear the din of a confused public when it actually goes full dark. And that's when you hear, I bring you fire. And there's a whoof. And all the lights come back on. And there's a draconian alone on stage. But you hear, like, chanting, even though you have no fucking clue who this guy is. Like, Vulcan! And tons of people cheering. He's in, like, an orange-scaled draconian, and you see that he's got, like, a neat little, like, Eastern vest of sorts, like, black with little gold inlay, and plain blue pants. Yes, welcome. I have brought you, today, a construction project that you will not be able to find anything more innovative. Tell me, do you believe in innovation?
In theory, I mean, it's useful, but what's your game? What's your angle, mister?
You don't realize it, but you take 5 stamina damage. What is his angle? You're interested. You're piqued.
Oof.
My friends, the way to the future is difficult. Times are hard, and we need to separate ourselves in the way that is proper. How we must do this is by choosing the best things to work together on with cooperation. Investment is risky, but together, I can tell you what we need to do. A safe investment with Vulcan is one made with science, creativity, analysis, and motivation.
I like all of those things.
Yes. You take another 5 and you don't notice. You do like all of those things. Science, creativity, analysis, motivation. That's like you. That's you.
That's all those things I love.
You're getting excited.
Man.
At this point, he goes, I present to you.
Oh. Ooh, that's not very fiery.
You've cleared out the stone house. All that's left is the barn.
I know you changed the light to blue, but you just blue-balled Henny so much.
Yeah! I want to know! Oh, I can't believe this.
Was there, like, any downtime between clearing the house and the barn?
Yeah. You would have had a chance to basically, like, tighten your straps, get a drink of water if you need one, before preparing another, like, assault.
Okay, so I don't have time to, like, pray and be like, what the fuck?
You do.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pray and be like, what the fuck?
Do you expect an answer? Like, actually, does Reggie expect an answer?
A little bit, but he hasn't had trouble communicating in the past. Like, that's the thing. Whenever he tries to communicate with Celestial, it's always come, pretty easy.
You try to focus yourself and do what you normally do. You find your center, you look towards the sky, you get sort of a focus, you angle yourself to wherever you last saw the red star, and you focus. You think about excellence, you think about beauty, you try to build that sort of emotion that you used to do in your praying, but it doesn't summon. Instead, for a moment, you feel shame? It feels the same, though. It feels like what you used to have, but now you identify it differently.
Well, that's not typical. Oh, I'll have to come back to this. We got work to do.
All right, you're in front of the barn. What's the plan here?
Brady just opens the door and walks in and attacks whatever he sees. Like,
All right.
no words, no communication, just everyone's here. All right, let's go.
Roll Grace. Got to beat 25.
I'm gonna roll it in top-down mode because I have dice for this.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
All right, so that's a 11. So no.
All right. So what would that be? That'd be 14 damage.
Yes.
So you sort of just go, and you're like, oh, and by now it's getting late, and it's just dark enough that the Darklings seem to be willing to come out. There's a bull that just hurls you into the training yard and charges out. As it's like getting ready to gore again, you see it like melt almost like a fluid, and it goes flat over the training yard. It's just like it's covered in ink, and it's still. You and everyone else are just sort of sitting there in the middle of it.
I move to take a step away from it.
As you do so, it's almost like taking your boot out of mud, and you see almost like something starting to claw at you. It gets fainter around where you're standing, and this thing is starting to grapple and claw its way towards your face.
All right, no axe time. It's just punching.
All right, give me a roll.
If he's gonna claw at me, I'm gonna punch and claw at him back. Fight him off. Alright. So that's 14.
14. All right. You reach for this thing and sort of peel it off of you and get it at least with a bit of distance before hacking the base where it is. It reforms like a bubble of sorts and takes a vaguely humanoid form before it charges at you. Some of your allies seem slightly overwhelmed on the other side of the field. Looks like Tiffany and Ethelwald are cornered, while Albjorn and Steelfist are creaming one side of the field completely.
I'll go towards Ethelwald and Tiffany after, like, I'm assuming the way I have it in my head is he's on the opposite side and they're like over there and I'm like in.
It's like a triangle.
Middle. Like I'm like, okay, so it's like a triangle, and I'm gonna go for Tiffany and Ethelwald, and just kind of let this guy do whatever.
All right. You rush your way towards them as this thing... There's like a big mace of sorts that it forms with its hand and tries to wallop down on you. It'll be heavy. Base damage here is... That'd be 14.
I literally just don't even care.
Yeah, you feel this thing like womp on you and you just sort of knock it off the way that you're used to and you keep running. Before too long, you manage to get close to them and form up into a unit. You deflect a few blows and they manage to take out this Darkling, and when the last one comes behind you, you finish it off easily.
I was going to say, if there's any hits towards Ethelwald, I'll use Stonewall to block them.
All right.
But, yeah.
Before too long, the barn's clear as well.
Okay. I guess that's time for everyone to relax a little bit, if everything's all cleared out.
Yeah. You're probably going to have to meet up with people again. Oh yeah, that's probably a good retroactive note. Where would you guys have decided to meet up? The village is the midpoint along the trail, basically.
Like my village, or
Mm-hmm.
I would say your village makes the most sense as sort of the base of operations.
Yeah.
All right, in that case, you have more than enough room to just sort of sit and lounge and...
Drinks in the tavern.
Albjorn finishes the sentence that you start. You guys head towards the tavern. You guys have had a good lay of the land, and it looks like this is a decent place to stop and make your camp if you wanted to. You're probably going to have to head back soon, but it's almost nightfall. With the cover of night, you may be able to sneak up there and get a better look at what it is they're building.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. It's just walking for the most part, and you leave most of your stuff by the edge of the road. From there, you head on foot, nice and low, dodging between the handful of crags that are present, and get as close as you can to this camp. There's people on watch, but you wait until you've got a blind spot and get a little bit closer. Roll Grace or Delicate, basically to determine your approach here.
Grace. 5.
You basically do a woof, oof, and then it's this uncomfortable thing where you would have just been able to get up and be like, I'm fine, but you, like, out of the corner of your eye see someone looking towards you, so you just kind of have to stay flat in the snow as they look back. You have an opening again, and you sort of trudge up to where the rest of the group is near the edge of the campsite itself among the tents.
Okay.
Here you see that there's, it looks like there's a central tent that has a blueprint in it. It's not guarded. There probably aren't any valuables in there. It's the camp itself that has 1 or 2 people awake and taking a look around.
Okay. Who do I have with me?
You would be with Red, Elmira, Johnstone, and Trunk.
Okay.
Trunk probably would have waited a bit further away because stealth missions are probably not the best for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess that Elmira probably has the most in terms of.
Yeah, Elmira's pretty slippery.
Okay.
So it's just you saying stealth wouldn't be the best for him, and I'm remembering my old Torg. That was like no stealth whatsoever, but he passed every single stealth roll through sheer like force of strength. Through sheer physical prowess, the guy would just like walk around in like full plate and just be like, "You don't see me."
Well, it would be like you have
You
to
just-
hide in a barn and see, say, "Oh, rafters," and just hold yourself up in there. They don't look up.
Like, you know the thing where people like pick up a shrub and hide behind it?
Mm-hmm.
You would do that, but like with a wagon.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, he's strong.
Yeah, maybe get Elmira to go and look. See what's going on.
Elmira rushes in, and to your both pleasure and dismay, presumably, she returns with the blueprints, getting ready to put them back in when it's time.
Okay.
You guys are still in the camp, but you can get a quick peek at them as long as someone's keeping an eye out.
Okay. I study them really quickly.
It looks like this is for a pass of some sort. You see archways and roll science, elemental, alchemy, or politics, but only one.
Alchemy. $15. No. 17.
17. It looks like this is some sort of like funneling device. You see that there's a couple specifically named crystals that are there to amplify fire magic. Based on the design, it looks like this is meant to just make like an archway of heat for some reason. That being said, you've run out of room to study the plans and you have to roll them up and get them snuck back in there.
Okay.
You guys have got what you expect to find here, presumably. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you're explicitly looking for?
I don't think so. I
Right.
could probably head back.
You guys slip away. Meanwhile, we are back in the last hearth.
Man, I want to know what's he saying next. What happens next? I'm always yelling at, what is it?
I present to you, whoof, and there's this big plan that's unveiled, like big painted concept art. And he goes, Vulcan, Unity Pass. And you see it's this series of billowing flame archways that wind through the mountains. At this point, he starts coming in and he goes, friends, this is something we can only do together. No one alone can do something like this. But we will do it because we are stronger. If you are an interested investor, seek me out. We have much to discuss. But I'm not only looking for bigwigs, this is about people too. If you're interested in working with us, we are seeking laborers and porters and people of all sorts of academic stripe, especially elementalists. So come sign up with us. We are a group Excuse me. We are a group about courage, unity, leadership, and technology.
That's kind of different from what he was saying before.
And together, we will link the distant north and the north we know together. No longer will you have to go on big, long journeys around boats. And at this point, the guy's accent sort of and like mannerisms kick in, and you don't actually know what he's talking about. But you still take 5 stamina. And this is the first time you notice. You blink, and your eyes are kind of dry. You've been staring at this guy for a while.
Well, he's a good public speaker, if anything else. Can I roll Arcana to see if this is even a thing that makes any sense? Like,
Yeah.
big fire arch, what does that have to do with the Norths? I'm thinking through it. And I rolled a 15.
So the far northern shore is separated from Venkram by an elemental ice wall. Normally, like, there's sort of climate here and there all over the surface world, but there's a rare location where magic creates basically just a frigid channel. Usually what people do is they generate enough heat. It's a mix of sort of like elemental magic and mortal magic itself with the weather. So you don't necessarily fight it the way you would pure elemental stuff with annihilation. Here, you're just fighting cold with heat.
But how is he planning to... Like, there's no way there's an energy source that could just keep that going. Like, you would... Even to get a boat through there, you need elementalists on the clock to
Correct.
keep it from freezing. What... Is there any sort of elemental power source that could drive something like this? Like, or is this just something completely unknown to science?
People.
It's at this point that you know in the concept art, there's an elementalist on each side of each archway powering it up.
Huh. Okay. So it just seems like sort of a big, like, magic enhancer. It doesn't seem particularly devious.
For some reason, you're compelled to do the math on this. Something seems wrong.
Okay. So I'm doing the math on this. We got a big arch that leads from point A to point B being the distant north.
You take another 5 stamina damage, and you notice you keep doing these calculations and you're ending up at dead ends. It's like there's a bunch of different topics where it's almost right and almost wrong. You can tell the plan doesn't make sense somehow, but you're struggling to put your finger on it.
The only thing I can think of is he's planning some sort of invasion and needs a way to transport troops. That would explain a big bridge, but the north isn't exactly undefended.
At this point, the press conference is sort of disbanded. There's a lot of people who are meeting up with recruiters to work with this guy, but you notice that there is a door where he's invited investors.
I'm an investor. I have a fancy house. I'm going to sneak in. They don't know what my face looks like. They only know me from the masks.
All right. You walk in, and sure enough, they know you from the masks, but they don't know your face. They might have heard your name somewhere tops, but no one seems to recognize you. You don't recognize that there's any life drinkers here aside from Vulcan. Otherwise, it's all locals, be they rich merchants or people from noble houses sort of thing. They're all schmoozing and talking with this guy. There's alcohol being served. They don't even charge you. They just give it to you.
I'll take a glass, but I ain't drinking it. I do those fake sips, those like, not really.
All right, yeah. You're making your way around, and it seems that people are really interested about this. They're talking about it being this unparalleled innovation, this, like, new wonder of the world. It all sounds very utopian and wild.
Mm-hmm.
You hear voices, not hear voices, you hear people talking, and those same things you heard before, you hear again from the other side of the room. It looks like this Vulcan guy is talking to a couple of people, just sort of at the edge of the bar. You again hear the same stuff, talking about science, creativity, analysis, motivation. You realize it's the second time he's done it exactly like that. It's a shtick.
It's a good shtick. Now,
He notices you making eye contact. You don't think he knows who you are, but he sort of nods to you and gives you one of those.
I'll walk over. This is fantastic. Like a route to the north means so much for so many.
Oh, absolutely. The trade, the commerce, people going place to place, freedom to travel where you wish without being blocked by petty geography.
Ah, man, tell me about it. I'm assuming there'll be, sort of a bit of a it's not going to be a toll-free passage, I'm sure. Where
Oh, of course not. It's a service that needs to be supported, but tariffs on goods will make a major amount because, try charting a course around the edge, and you hear people sort of chuckling and they're sort of, roll understand.
8.
This is still obvious enough to you. The people here don't know what they're talking about, but also don't know that this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about either. So it's this weird mix of a bunch of people thinking they're smart and pretending to be smarter than they are.
I guess I'll bring up. So, is this we're going to need, just judging from the concept art, we're going to need people on both sides, correct? Or do we have partners up in the north, or are we tunneling through just the whole dang way ourselves?
We have a prepared partnership, and we don't have to dig anything. The archways, they get implanted on the geography itself. The pervasive gold is the problem. Otherwise, we could just walk through. So now we walk through.
Is it, and it's never been, do you have an insurance plan? I know that trips up a lot of small startups is liability and stuff like that. It seems a little.
Oh, liability is so far behind in our business plan.
Well,
we dealt with it ages ago. We're ready. Our lawyer's top of tier.
Well, oof.
But together, we will be united. We'll be able to do this. There's
Right.
nothing stronger than the powers of courage, unity, leadership, and technology. Am I right?
Well, I'm with you on the technology. This is certainly unprecedented.
Roll odds or evens. Pick one.
Evens. 3.
Odds. You say, yes, Lord Vulcan, and take 5 salmon damage.
Ugh.
You sort of blink to yourself. Nobody notices you sort of jar back into it, but you kind of got enthralled in it for a second there.
He's just saying the same things over and over again. He doesn't know what he's talking about. None of these people know what they're talking about. He's getting a whole bunch of fire magic in one place.
At this point, as you're sort of mulling things over, it's an investor meeting, so you sort of get edged out of the conversation. At this point, however, roll sleuth.
Come on. Damn it. That's an 18.
18 is still enough. You see someone sort of lean over the edge of a table to write down a number, and you're at just the right angle that you can see what it is. You see 100,000, and it gets put into a paper and slipped to Vulcan. He picks it up, and even though he's mid-conversation, he just goes, puts it in his pocket, just with talk, and gets back to what he's going on about.
100,000. That's... What do I, can I roll politics to see if that's even remotely in the ballpark of a construction project, even when this
You don't
big?
need to roll politics. It would be enough for a construction project this big.
Okay.
It's still a lot of fucking money.
Oh, it's a lot of money, but listen, Henny's dealt with all big checks before. She's no stranger to it. It's just, and was he the only one? There's no other investors?
No, there's a number of investors.
But are they sending them bids like this?
You haven't been noticing it, but
All right,
that's what people do at these dinners. That's the point of them, really.
Okay, that's a lot of money. And
It's a big project.
I'm gonna go talk to the guy that slipped him the money.
All right. Yeah, you see that there's an industrialist who's sort of talking to someone else off in a corner. A lupus in a white suit with white fur. It's a look.
Like Reggie's look.
Kind of like Reggie's
Just
look.
pulled off better.
I can appreciate your sense of fashion, my friend.
Oh, yes, thank you. Eddard.
Uh,
Eddard Mechanics.
Edward Mechanics. Hi, I'm Benny.
Benny Boxworth.
Yeah, Benny Boxworth. Just a bit of an academic. I've never seen anything like this in any of my research.
Oh yes, unparalleled.
Is it
The
even,
wonders of science and innovation.
is it like I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but I'm almost wondering if it's possible. It seems too good to be true.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it works. Everything does. The numbers work. The science works. Everyone's on board. We can do it. I hate to say I fell for the marketing, but it's true. With courage, unity, leadership, technology, we can do it together.
I mean, yeah. You seem a well-traveled man. You've seen these numbers, this math. I mean, I'm sort of a minor person at this party. You know, I don't have that kind of clearance, but like it checks out.
I'll put it this way. And he leans in and he goes, in all my years of investing, it's really rare that you get excited about what you're spending money on. Normally, you're just optimistic.
You know, the North.
What would I have to roll to see if this guy... Actually, I don't think I have to roll. This man has just bought into it, hasn't he? This man has not seen these numbers. Do I have to roll anything to know that? Or can I just tell from the way that he didn't cite anything?
You can kind of tell.
I will make one last roll here, and that's an Arcana roll.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe perhaps when I've left this investors meeting safely, gotten back to the manor,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look through my Arcana book. What sort of magic is enthrallment?
Enthrallment isn't something you really know. The closest would be dark magic, but it would be very niche sorts of dark magic.
Like,
Maybe celestial.
is there any way to sort of convince people that I can find in this Arcana book? Some way to influence minds, or even just pump people full of adrenaline, honestly, like anything. I'm rolling
Honestly,
for it.
Roll ritual.
Ritual, damn it. 5!
Don't you have Blue with you?
Henny doesn't ask for help, though, because I feel like Blue would have to come up and see Henny puzzling away. Blue, do you know anything about like enthrallment or mind? Not melding, I guess. I explain the situation. You see, there's this Lord guy. He is doing a pitch, and everyone is excited. I was excited.
Blue does that thing where, like, he clarifies he's paying attention, but he's paying attention while looking for something. He then takes out a mirror, he looks at himself for like a quarter second, and goes, "Look," and he goes like there, and he goes, "Your lower eyelid."
Okay, I'm looking at it.
You pick up the mirror, and sure enough, it's almost like there's a paper-thin little eyeliner line. You didn't notice that before.
No,
Blue puts his hand on you, and you notice that Blue has the same tiny paper-thin ones. You need to be like this close to someone's face, and he goes, "We've been life drunk."
both of us?
That entire crowd, I reckon.
I mean, that makes sense, but that doesn't explain why they were so dang excited about it. This man showed a cool painting, babbled some nonsense about impossible science, and someone sent him $100,000 gold.
I don't know. I'm the mage. I'm not a sociologist. Do you guys head out of town?
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's about the time, too.
yes, I feel I'm going to absolution. I mean, do you feel comfortable keeping up the man's end of the bargain? If you and Blue stay here, just make sure no one breaks into the property as per our contract, and
Seems fair.
we'll go meet up with the others and reconvene.
You wouldn't have signed the contract. You would be reconvening before signing the contract.
Oh, yeah. In that case, perfect. Yeah, then I'll still leave them behind just in case he comes back for any reason. Like, I assume we're expected to kind of stay within signing distance. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll reconvene.
A few days pass. Well, only one day or so passes for you. A few days have passed since you cleared out the tavern here. Slowly but surely, everybody's made it back to the village for the final decision. Now that you've sort of sat around here, there's room and it's versatile, but this is a shabby building that's going to need to be renovated.
That is the point of other people coming in to clean it up, I suppose.
So, where do you guys think you'll settle?
Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, but we do have access to a very nice estate.
It's not very low profile.
Not very low profile, but it does have easy access to the firewalls. And I mean, if we get found, we can escape very easily. I mean, if we're surrounded out here, it's a defensible location, but there's no real escape route. I mean, it is less likely to be found, of course, but all things are traceable.
Where you are here in the village is just sort of off like a side road, so it's kind of isolated. Not like conspicuously in the middle of nowhere, but like there's a reason the infestation didn't spread that far. It's just a cluster of a couple places near the edge of town.
I feel like, well, if you're going to pick a city to try and stay covert in a jam-packed, tight city like this is almost perfect. My vote would be probably, I mean, the manor's comfortable.
The inn's comfortable. Have you seen their beds? It's a little bit run down, like
Well,
a bit of a fixer.
But also the outdoors are right next to the building project.
That's true, which almost makes it more dangerous if people are coming and going building there. More likely to be found. Not
Yes.
to, I feel like I'm kind of shitting on all of your guys' individual projects here in favor of mine. I swear that's not what I'm trying to do.
In favor of yours, we're all working on the same thing here.
Right, we all sort of had our locations that we're bringing to this meeting, and I don't want to. Regardless, I think that the best option is either right here or the manor.
Okay, but if we're in the manor, it'll be very, very quick for the people who are chasing us to find us.
I suppose, but they would also have to comb through the city and find the specific lord, and they wouldn't expect us to be in a manor. You raise a good point.
They also wouldn't be able to find us as easily if we're in a somewhat isolated part of a village that's off the beaten path of...
It's also worth mentioning that your enemies are a very, very, very small group of people. They are a very, very, very small group of very, very powerful people, but they don't have like CCTV footage and like a worldwide manhunt.
But on that note, very, very powerful people would be able to find the Lord very quick, whereas the village... No one would really care about us.
Right, I'm just saying that all it would take is for someone to come in and say, hey, any adventurers come in here? And then they say, yeah, they cleared out this thing and they're living there now. You know, it's... If everyone's voting for the village, it's fine, it's defensible, I think it would make a fine base.
With the specific word defensible, the most defensible would be the camp because it had like the winding path and like sniper spots really. Here you sort of have the isolation working to your benefit where like people wouldn't notice like you specifically coming and going, but also you wouldn't expect people to go down this road much, so you'd have a bit of privacy. In the city itself is where you have those secret exits and hidden pathways around town.
I think I'm leaning towards the manor.
Alright.
I mean, yeah, because worst case scenario, if we do get caught, personally, I don't really want to see combat if we can avoid it. And the manor seems to be the easiest escape. You know.
I think, I think you're right.
That's settled. City slicking.
City slicking.
City slicking.
City slicking.
City slicking.
Now, once that's settled, what have we all learned? What have we all sort of discovered, figured out?
Hey, you!
Me?
At this point, Albiorn looks you dead in the eye and goes, hey, you.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Hey, you.
Yeah. What?
Hey, you.
Yeah, no, you have
At
my
this
attention.
point, you see like both Steelfist and Albiorn joining in with Reggie going, hey, you.
What? What do you want?
I like lean over to Henny like they're teasing you.
It's a strange way to...
Can I get you a drink?
Yeah, no, that'd be lovely.
Something spicy for the evening?
I've
Elbjorn leans
seen your
in.
brand of spicy for the evening, and I think I might pass this time around.
Elbjorn leans in to save you any more suffering and just goes, "We didn't find anything useful."
Okay, you could have just said that. I don't understand the whole rigmarole. Okay. How about you, Vesta?
I described the blueprints that we saw.
You didn't have the blueprints, but upon description, the amount of work that would have to go into these in terms of constant usage is just... It's possible. Like mentioned before, the numbers work. It just seems really unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, so elemental enhancing construction, like they're just blueprints for a big magic enhancing system, eh? Like exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because he's
Fire Arch.
Big, yeah. Because that was his plan. His plan is to create a sort of a passageway from here to the far north. It's like I don't need to explain to you what an astronomical amount of heat, just pure straight energy, would be required to do that. I mean, you think about a boat going through. That's a team of mages working around the clock, and that's just a small section at a time that they're melting. But it's worse than that. And I show them my eye.
What
You
am I
would-
looking at?
You and Blue are literally the only people who know what you're talking about at
No,
this
it's,
point.
you gotta look.
I just, you have a nice eye.
No, it's below the eyelid. The blue.
The
is
eyelid's less attractive than the actual eye itself, but it's still all right.
fine. Blue. I think
Yeah.
At this
you're
point,
up.
Tiffany joins in and goes, "No, I think it's a good look. I think it really helps make
It's
your eyes
not-
pop more."
It's not makeup.
I think you look. Yeah, it's nice.
Blue chimes in and just goes, "We've been life drunk."
Is that what life drinking looks like? I don't really see the big deal.
Well, that's not the problem. He had an investors meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
People showed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I showed up.
Yes.
Everyone was enthralled.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was a good public speaker. He
That-
kept saying the same things over and over, mumble jumble bullshit. People
That's-
were spending thousands of gold without any proof. Like I've seen investors.
She keeps saying the same thing over and over. Is that the sign of a life drinker?
I
think it's the sign of an education.
yeah. That's kind
So
of
just
just
to sound smart, I just have to say the same
that's
thing
just
over
kind
and
of
over.
how you convince crowds.
We
to
call
love
it
things.
logical consistency.
By life drinking them?
No, by having really positive energy and
Right.
this
Yeah, if we're
thing.
talking about
It's
the-
really great. This thing. Look
If we're
at this
talking about the
thing.
common rabble, then yes, but these are wealthy people who have made their wealth by making smart business decisions. These
And
aren't
this-
people who just willy-nilly decide to drop thousands
when you
of
say
dollars.
these aren't the common rabble, you get a genuine like a full knee slap from Rollins. No, they're not. Rich people are dumber because they can afford to be.
Yeah.
They're no less vulnerable to this sort of manipulation.
Often.
I wasn't there, but if they're being conned, they're being conned.
It's not just that they're being conned, it's that they're being conned so happily and so willingly.
That's
You
the
don't
sign of a good
It's
con.
the sign of a good con. Often rich people are rich because their parents were rich.
Yes, for sure. But if you're conning somebody, you need an exit strategy. This man is just...
He probably has one.
He'll probably cross the bridge.
The bridge isn't going to work.
It might work once. That's all he needs.
That's all he needs.
And if not, while everyone's looking at the bridge, he'll head the other way.
Well, obviously, he's not going to tell you about his exit strategy, but
Well, you guys are missing the point.
At this point, Edelwald chimes in and goes, "Do you know about the violin scam?"
Is that... No, I know of two violin scams. There's the invisible violin scam, and then there's the far reach violin scam. Which one are you talking about?
Edelwald just sort of like seems confused and doesn't know how to respond, but just nods to Bea and Tiffany, and it's almost like a choreography, like they spin into action. And you see Bea, she's carrying just like a bit of barrel, like a bit of broken wood that's in the back of the wagon, but just picks it up and goes, I'm sorry, I don't have enough to pay my bill. I hope I can leave behind this priceless violin. It's a family heirloom, but you know, I'm sorry. I swear I'll be back. My wallet's just over there. I hope this is enough. Yeah. And then she passes it to you, and like that, like Tiffany's there and goes, "Oh my god, that's crazy. That's got to be worth $1,000 at least." I don't know about you, but I'd make off with it quickly. At which point, like, Edelwald walks up and goes, "I'd give it to you for 100 tops. It can't be worth that much." And then Tiffany and Edelwald both sort of like fake argue. At which point, like, they both turn towards you, and like they do that bid until both of them can't go any higher, and they're willing to pay you 150 gold for this violin.
They're paying me for the violin?
Mm-hmm.
I take that deal.
It's a piece of driftwood that they've handed you.
Is my wallet in my pocket?
At this point, like, Bea leans in and goes, "For the sake of the con, it's a violin."
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, like, I was owed more money than that, but...
Actually, you were only owed, like, 2 gold. Fancy
Oh.
place, but still.
Okay, so I guess I will now sell my violin to you, the highest bidder.
All right. At that point, sure enough, she goes blah, 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 150 gold. At which point they walk away, and Bea walks back in and goes, "You sold my violin."
Yes, you gave it to me.
That was... I said I was going to be back. It was collateral. That was worth 600 gold. My meal was only 2.
No, you said I'll give this to you in exchange for rent, and then you left.
No, it was just collateral while I went to get my... That's it. I'm getting my lawyer involved.
Okay.
You owe me 598 gold pieces.
That's not how the legal system works.
At which point, it sort of like cracks, and Edelwald kicks in and goes, "It's basically that. The violin's real. It's just there's a lot of hubbub involved and a lot of smoke and mirrors, and eventually someone is paying something to someone."
I see your point. He's definitely drumming this up. And I maybe I'm overestimating the intelligence of investors around here, but I think it's unusual for someone to be able to come out and show a fancy picture and get me, of all people. I didn't even want to buy the violin from you in the first place, and I was getting excited. He said the word science once, and I was hooked. I'm smarter than that. These people are smarter than that.
Well, I think it's a really good sign that even though you're smarter than that, you are also enthralled. Which makes it seem like anybody who's maybe less dumb than you, looking at your mental skill,
Am I what now?
would be easily convinced. And you're a smart lass, honey.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes me concerned. How much political power does this man have? What
You just gotta have a
can't
lot
he
of
do?
social power.
Right. What's he going to do with that? Because I could not go up to a stage with a picture of a big fire ring and say, "Hey, give me all your money," and have it work. Especially not to that degree. Especially with no one having seen any figures or numbers or even a prototype.
Well, here's a simple answer to what he's going to be doing. Nothing. Because we're going to stop him.
We're gonna kill him. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take one of these firearms and I'm gonna put it in his neck. And I'm gonna sprinkle some of this dust on it. It's gonna be great.
That's the legal dust, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just saying, we need to be really,
Sure.
really, really careful. Because he seems to have everybody and anybody wrapped around his little finger
Yeah.
with a couple words. And I don't want you guys to be foolish as I was and not see that coming.
Well, now we do.
And now we do. I feel like you guys are taking this as seriously as I kind of anticipated.
We are taking it seriously. I just think that
We don't need to be taking it seriously at this moment. He's not in this tavern. He's not here with us.
yeah,
Oh.
I also think, Henny, that maybe I I would hate to say that you're over exaggerating this.
You don't have to say it then. There's no one saying that.
But I think that maybe it is quite likely that he's just very good at talking to people. And he's gotten this con all figured out. And he's probably been planning it for some time now.
Tiffany chimes in. Way the violin con generally goes is you already had the money for the violin, and you already had the money to give up, and that's your risk. And then, if they don't buy the violin and they get it back, you didn't lose any money. You just bought a dinner. If they do buy the violin, you get back more money and value because you're extorting them for it. And of course, if you went and tried to take that violin and sell it to someone other than those people, it wouldn't work out for you. There's a little bit of risk, but it's something that works out either way.
Are you saying these investors are in on it?
Eldorn chimes in and goes, no, I don't know. I think that it's just that whether this gets built or not, he's getting a bunch of money from people. Who cares if it works? He's getting paid.
It's not that. It's just, I want to know how he did it. I want to know how he enthralled all those people. And I refuse to believe that there isn't some sort of magical connection because we have proof. We have proof that he was life drinking.
Yeah.
And if he was, who knows what else he was doing?
I mean, you're absolutely true. There might be some magical aspect to it, but it might also just be that he's a really good public speaker.
That's what we'll be looking at.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay, but if you all get mind controlled into killing us, don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay.
Well, you couldn't kill me. You're you.
Well, next time around, you'll be able to find out what happens and what the hell this guy is selling and what it is and where the money goes, potentially.
And where's
maybe.
the violin?
And where's the violin?
Henny still has the violin.
Is Henny still holding a small piece of broken barrel?
Well, I guess Henny gave away the violin for money. So actually, Henny does not have the violin.
Yeah.
Henny says, hey, maybe you should pay your bill next
The
time.
violin.
So,
It's a good song.
if you guys want to catch up on the episodes, they're at youtube.com/Mr. Croton. We'll be here on the later half of 7, which is sometimes on the other side of 8. It doesn't need to be that specific. It's on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mr. Croton. And if you want the rules to this game, it's at bloodwine.fandom.com. They're not the rules that we're using now. They're the most recent pseudo-finished version before final release. Is there anything big people need to know?
No, I don't think we'll be able to stream tomorrow because Angel's not able to do another Life is Strange playthrough. He hasn't
It's
recovered.
a lot.
He hasn't recovered from the last one.
Oof.
So there might be a stream over the weekend. I might make a return to a certain JRPG that I played a while back.
Undertale?
No.
Is it Jade Empire? Because it starts with a J, which makes it a JRPG?
Is it RuneScape?
I'm mad that you made that connection. And no, my buddy got banned. We were going to do a RuneScape playthrough, 100%. We were going to, but then beforehand he got banned for 2 weeks.
How did he get... You know what? That sounds like a long story.
Yes. So yeah, there might be a stream over this weekend. So yeah, if you like JRPGs, I'll be goofing around in one. Maybe.
All right. See you around, folks.
Bye.
Bye.